Hey everyone, this is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. You saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly why you're here. I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows or anything that's going down on social media. So please hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell, because that is how others find me on YouTube. And also, guys, thank y'all for rocking with me. Now let's get started. So you guys, I just finished listening to a panel discussion with Marsau and Tisha on the blueprint for a healthy relationship. It was ran by a lady named Chanel from Che Ministry. And if y'all remember, Martell sat on a panel of hers last year around this time, I believe, where he talked about the 85-15 rule or the 90-10% rule. Anyway, we're going to get a little more into it. It's actually the 80-20%, but he actually revised it, saying that Melody actually gave him 85 or 90% of what he needed, and the mistress only gave him like 10 or 15%, which actually makes him look even more dumb, but it is what it is. Anyway, I feel like the couples, I believe it was Sasha and Kevin, and then Michael Jai White, and I forgot his wife's name, but they were being very honest about their lives and their relationship. And I believe that Marsau was being very honest about his relationship. I think Tisha was putting on, and at one point you could tell that Marsau and Tisha had a moment where they went back and forth with each other. Like you could see Marsau asking her, why would you say that? Or why would you do that? And Tisha, like, shrugging her shoulders like it is what it is. Anyway, the reason why I said that Marsau was being honest is because he was saying some things that men don't usually say. Number one, he said that he's only had 3 girlfriends, and Tisha was the 3rd one prior to him getting married. Now, that's some major information. I believe Marsau is a middle child. He comes from a family that is predominantly male, meaning more brothers than sisters. And we also know that at least 2 of his older brothers that have been out there on television and on social media often says things that make you think that they require female attention all of the time. And you guys know what I'm talking about because Maurice and Kimmy brought that mess to the show where they talked to Dr. Francis about how many times Maurice, quote unquote, needs it a day. Now, I do realize that there's a big difference between Marsau saying he's only had 3 girlfriends versus how many times he may have just casually dated a woman for, certain perks are 2 different things. But one of the things that Marsau himself said on the show was his biggest mistake was mistaking relations for love. The other thing that he said, both on the show and on this panel, is that if he doesn't get it, then he believes he should be able to outsource it. And just a reminder, Marsau and Tisha are sitting on this panel to share their honest experiences on love and relationships. They are supposed to be the blueprint for a healthy relationship. One of the questions that the host asked Marsau to further elaborate on was him saying that relations is the most important part of his marriage. And this is when Marsau said the 80-20 rule was a problem for him because if he's not getting the 20%, then he didn't give a damn about the 80%. So then the host followed up with, well, what about in sickness and in health, Marsau? Because life is a ever-changing journey. You have to go with the ebbs and flows, right? And he said, well, of course, we're not talking about sickness. No one's ever talking about sickness. But that's a lie, okay? There are plenty of men who step out on their wives because they are physically ill and not able to do things with them. Or even after childbirth, men do silly things like that. So at the end of the day, him trying to clean that up didn't work for me. But the other men on the panel basically shut that nonsense that Marsau was talking about completely down. One husband, I believe it was Kevin, he said, listen, my wife and I work all day. We have kids. Sometimes we are tired and we just want to go to bed. So that one husband saying, I understand physical exhaustion. The other husband, I believe it was Michael Jai White, he was like, listen, I believe that when I am with my wife, my job is to please her. And if I'm pleasing her, then she will never reject me. And of course, the audience ate that up, but it literally left Marsau sitting on that stage looking like a man who's only ever had 3 girlfriends. And did I mention that he got married when he was 27? And they only dated a couple of months before he popped the question. So Marsau also talked a little bit about his courtship and what attracted him to Tisha. I actually heard this story before. He said that they worked for the same office, and when he saw Tisha, he was immediately attracted to her. And the only thing he could say to her when he saw her was, "You're a real woman." Then he said that they went to Home Depot together to look for some tiles because he was trying to flip a house. And Tisha threw her arms around him and said, "You have good taste," or something like that. And he said that he felt like she believed in him. And so he popped the question. Now, we've all been talking about or making fun of Tisha saying that she schedules her time with Marsau for 4 a.m. Because she's way too tired to do it at 8 o'clock. She says she goes to bed, okay? Anyways, I'm not going to rehash all of that, but Marsau pretty much called her out on it in a joking way, but he was like, "I don't know who Tisha is right now because we don't do that." So I'm going to leave you guys to figure it out. If it's really important to Marsau and he says that he is willing to outsource it, and we know that Tisha goes to bed at 8 and Marsau isn't waking up at 4, then what the hell is happening over there? Now, all of the other questions about knowing that you were compatible, how do you get through arguments, things like that, Marsau, again, was very much the person that we see on the show. He said, Tisha's emotional and he likes to approach things with logic. And if she can't meet him there, then he's done with it. And that is exactly what the majority of the fans see every time we watch the show, right? And they said that they are flooded with critiques through DMs, emails, you name it. People have something to say about their marriage, but it's actually brought them closer together. And good for them. But I have to say, marriages like that are the most vulnerable because if they meet someone just in passing, or maybe even had a cup of coffee with, if that person brings them peace that they don't have at home, that could change things for the worse, okay? Now, maybe Marsau think he can dabble outside of the house, allegedly, and then come back home, but it does explain why he wants to keep Tisha in the house because he knows if Tisha, who requires an emotional connection, is out here in these streets working, showing someone a house, and all of a sudden she has a brief emotional connection with somebody and it reminds her of what she isn't getting at home, she may have 4 or 5 husbands like her mama, okay? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm going to wrap my commentary up here, but you guys be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell, and I will check you all on the next one.